We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a 3rd grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become number 4.
President Biden, do you support reparations?
Well, I mean, since I haven't spoken on this, got a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of every 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. And this is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
We are owed $104 trillion on the very low end, plus $735 billion recurring. This number does not include the cost of about 50 Black Wall Streets that were decimated, nor compound interest from 2017 when Sean D. Rochester's book, The Black Tax, was published, nor the cost of Black life, nor the cost of living increases, nor the war on drugs, nor the current day pandemic. The number I'm working with is for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives.
Good afternoon on the West Coast. Good afternoon in the mountains. Good afternoon in the central. Good afternoon on the East Coast. You know exactly who it is, family. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Reparations perspective, bringing you those Freedmen hot topics and making the case for reparations, making the case for weaponizing our vote, socializing our suffering. Hi, Yaira. I see you, family. Thanks for being here, and thanks to all of you, Twitter, ScrewTube, Facebook, for joining the live. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Yes, your thumbs up helps the algorithm. And ScrewTube is actually pretending as if they want to monetize me. It's very, very limited. It's limited. And they're shadow banning your sister. So the only way this channel grows, I got all your complaints about how you're not getting your notifications and you're upset. And all I can do is tell you to please. Hi, Martin. I see you, fam. Please like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications and keep checking to see if you're still subscribed to the channel. That's the only thing I can recommend, family. The struggle is real. I had to go through and fight with these people. Now, I use my brother's music on the intro and outro since November 2019. On about not half, because I got over 300 videos. Let's say about 30 videos had copyright claims. It's utterly ridiculous. 3 of my videos they've totally removed. You won't be allowed to see those. So now I got to really work at warp speed to get my website launched so I can put what they consider to be sensitive commentary over there for you guys to be able to check it out. It's unconscionable what they're doing to your sister. I'm sick of the bull, but the show must go on as is the movement. So shout out to Miss Powell, gave such a generous contribution. Shout out to YVOC Info. Thank you, Nikki, for the early Christmas gift. When these kinds of things go down, it lets me know I'm reaching the people and that you love and support my voice on behalf of American Freedmen. It means the world to me because your sister's got a good 10 other broadcasts that I need to bring to you that God just keeps delivering to me, you see, because God just don't rain money from the sky, but God will give you a good idea if you sit long enough in your meditation and silence and listen to the still small voice. God will give you the answers to your money woes, okay? So God's giving me about a good 10 broadcasts that she wants to birth through me. And so with your help and support, that's made possible. This kind of work is very, very time consuming, okay? So I thank you guys for being here. I thank you for the contributions to the Cash App, Miss Powell, YVOC Info, Rashawn and your beautiful family. I mean, this is a beautiful family. And I'm super ecstatic for Rashawn and Katina and little Teddy. Shout out to you guys. I mean, he puts his contributions on recurring, even after having a baby. I love this story because these are two American freedmen that met at our inaugural ADOS conference in Kentucky. And so it just thrills me that they went on and did the damn thing. They're building an empire, and now little Teddy is here. And there's no greater love than freedman man, freed woman, and free babies. That's the formula for us, family. Trust and believe. All this other stuff, good for you if you believe in interracial sexual access. That's not my lane. I believe in the freed man with the freed woman making freed babies. Yes, I do. Okay? Because now we got ourselves in a real jam, right? All this interracial sexual access. Now you got white folks who got a drop of black blood out here thinking they're entitled to reparations. Let's get into it. I'm going to start with the lead story first. Hi, Trey. I see you, family, because y'all know I was born to talk, right? So I get all along with it on the little itty-bitty stuff that really don't matter to me that much. But that money and that Skrilla matter to me a lot. And now they claiming that just one portion is valued at around $223,000. I think that's the housing discrimination aspect. That's not where they stopping. I don't know what it's going to be ultimately, but I know that the proposals are coming due July next year. We've been here for a long time. We're ready to get the proposals out there and get this done because we are out of time. But now that's happening. Now white folks with a drop of black blood who done claim whiteness all their damn days, which is your reparations. Your designation of whiteness is your reparations, you see. Because you got a bazillion dollars in wealth position. We got hardly any. So I do believe your whiteness is your reparations. But let's get into it. This article here. Oh, child, the ghetto. Okay, let me get to it. Let me share my screen because we want to memorialize all the subjects here. And then I'll read from the others. Stand by, family. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notification. If you feel so compelled, bless the broadcast. $ TRP TV. It's scrolling in the bar below. Oh, Lord, we already getting hot. Have mercy. Ooh, child. Okay, these lights are very hot, along with my own private summer. But that's a whole nother Oprah. Let's get into it. Share the screen. This is unbelievable. Family, if we don't put this gate up, we gonna have $5 white freedmen, $5 Latina freedmen, $5 Asian freedmen, $5 East Indian Brahmin caste freedmen. It makes no sense. I'm just so over it. We got to fight every damn body, right? True or true? Here we go. Oh, Lord. And the ads are getting on my nerves. California reparations spark concern over white people possibly qualifying. Now, before I even proceed, let me make sure y'all can see me because I don't even know if you can. Hold on. Okay, you can see me. YVOC info, your generous Christmas gift. God bless you, Nikki. I didn't even know that was you. Thank you, babe. Listen here. Now, y'all know that and I'm not going to go through all of the history, but for those of you who may not know, wait, what happened here? Okay, there it is. Just a second, y'all. Something went. Okay. I know that some of y'all know and some of y'all may not know. But the bottom line is the 1866 treaty, right, included us, well, our descendants, because I'm going to try not to cuss. These Indians also owned us, family. Yes, the 5 tribes that are making $1 bazillion on those casinos and all kinds of other benefits. Not all of them are benefiting in that way, okay? They do to their people what our Congress people do to us. They steal from us. They constantly line their own pockets, and then they deny having that come back to the impacted community. You know how the Joe Crow administration loves to weaponize our never-ending Holocaust to give everybody reparations but American freedmen? Well, the Indians, the 5 tribes, they do that to theirs as well. The horror in that is that white folks was able to buy their Indian heritage, our Indian heritage. They were able to buy our Indian reparations, right, for $5. Okay? So that's why you see people like Elizabeth Warren sitting up here talking about, her Indian lineage and thing of this nature. So when you hear folks like Joe Crow with 3 Ks sit up here and talk about, when we mention reparations, how we've got to look after the Indians first. You've been looking after the white $5 DAWs Indians as you allow these different tribes to rob us, because that's what they did about 40 years ago. We've been fighting our ancestors, rather, not me, although I just learned I've got Cherokee line. So I'm actually going to start applying for my number so that I can be entitled and in position. I'm going to bring that broadcast to you if this doesn't morph into that. Y'all know how I do. But basically, we got a whole bunch of Africans who do, American freedmen, who descend from these 5 tribes, who fought in the wars, okay, with these 5 tribes to help them try and preserve the land. Hello, Seminoles. Hello, Creek Nation. Choctaw, Muskogee, Cherokee. Hello. So we were not only their slaves, but we were on the Trail of Tears. We fought in about 3 of their wars when these white devils these glacier junkies was trying to take back all the land and everything from these native people. Let me just help you understand something. We were here before everybody. We were all over the world before everybody. So there's 2 different types of Indians. The ones you see came after us. We're indigenous to the country. Okay? So the ones that look more Hispanic, I think they're called the Mongolians, who was also named natives. No, we're indigenous. All over the world, even Asia. So you got to know your history, family. But the long and short of it is, the federal government wrote us into that 1866 treaty, which means all the health benefits, the educational benefits, the benefits from these casinos, that is supposed to be going to our people as well. Well, the Mongolians, who call themselves the Native Americans, decided they didn't want to do that. So then they set up here, and in their treaties, they wrote that the only way to identify as one of them is by the blood. Now, some of us do identify by the blood. I identify as Cherokee by the blood. I just learned this from my cousin Bruce. And so when you can show your line ties back to that, you need to be doing your research, because they're on the precipice, prayerfully, now that we're being allowed to identify as those tribes. Okay. And I would venture to say far more of us have that in our line than not, because that was one of the rewards. They were either rewarded with money when they traded us back to our slave masters after we ran away, or they were traded by being able to, they were incented to keep us as the slaves. And so just like with the white folks who were intermingled amongst, the same is true with the Indians. Lots of intermingling going on. Okay, so you need to trace your line to see if you can find any one of those 5 tribes, because the lawsuits are on and crack-a-lacking to get all of what is owed. And I mean, when they made these white folks Indians, when they were able to buy our reparations as promised by the Treaty of 1866, that's how they became even wealthier. Some of these people are receiving upwards of $30,000 or greater per month. But once again, there's levels to it. And it's generally why Joe Crow wants to set up protections and, we got to worry about getting the Indians reparations first. Even they have come out and said, don't even conflate the two, Joe Crow. Don't even. We already got ours. We're good because y'all continuing to give us free land. We're a sovereign nation. And now what they tried to do, family, the horror is not only did you rescind our inheritance and gave it to white folks, now you're trying to wash your hands of it and blame the country for slavery when you participated. Ain't that about a blip, y'all, the ghetto? So that's why all this interracial sexual access is problematic, because whenever we try to move forward and get what we are long overdue, here comes the leeches. Here comes the white folks who have marked on their census white forever. Here they come now, wanting a piece of the county reparations or whatever we got coming. Now they want to claim the 1-drop rule and come up in here and claim it, which is why we need to put up more of a secure gate than just lineage. Because if you lived as white and you benefited as white, then you've got your reparations. You need to get the hell up out of our line. You ain't got no business over here. Oh, thank you, Nikki. Nikki says, congratulations, Angela and Yaira, on learning about your Cherokee lineages. I am also researching my Indigenous heritage as well. Very exciting. Very exciting. Get paid, family. Get that money. Get that skrilla. Get in position. And do you know the woman that is in my line is named Pocahontas? Oh, is that not the end all to be all? Is that not amazing? Her name is Pocahontas. Oh, let me see if I can share her picture. Listen, I don't want to delay the show. I've got to get over here to my nail tech because I'm traveling soon for my niece's graduation from college. But my cousin Bruce, I'm going to see if I can just put it up here without trying to Share it, share it, share. It's just too much. I don't want to go through all their machinations. Here we go. This is just epic. Now, it's very grainy. It's very grainy, but she's in my line. It's kind of a glare. Her name is Pocahontas. Oh, Lord have mercy. Let's see. Her name is Pocahontas. So I've got to really, really dig into that line and you're going to need a number. Now, I don't have all the details. I just spoke with Cousin Bruce, and that's going to take for me a minute to get the information as to how you got to go. Once you find out that it's in your line, there are steps you need to take to secure your identity. But back to the text, family. I lost my last train of thought, y'all. Listen, I'm so tired, y'all. First of all, let me back up. I am all over the place. Why? Because I'm tired. Yes, I am. I've been crying all week, and I want to thank everyone who sent their well wishes and their condolences. I lost my mom a year ago yesterday. So all the firsts have been super rough on me. And, I've cried and bawled and cried and bawled. And last night I decided to stop crying. Yesterday was her anniversary. Shout out to my siblings all over the country. We went out and we did balloons. And we sent them off and we said prayers at the gravesite and things of this nature. And it was just epic. But your prayers and well wishes have been just amazing and great balm for my soul. I almost thought not to share it with you guys. I try to pride myself on being a private person, but that's very hard to do when you're in this movement, right? When you're in the contemporary reparations grassroots movement. You build relationships. Many of you I've not even met personally, but you have a huge impact on my life and you feel like family because you are. You really are. So I share because I wanted other people to know that it's okay to grieve, and only you and your inner Christ know when it's time to give that up. Now, I don't want you to get so much into depression that you want to crawl into the box with your family. I do believe in grievance counselors, preferably for me, my ministers, who are my closest girlfriends too, to go to them if I was really not able to handle it. But it's because of my faith and my understanding of who I am as a spirit of the living God before I'm flesh. That knowledge lets me know that my mother has put down a body that turned on her, but her spirit is forever, right? So shout out to, thank you, Nikki. Yes, she was so beautiful, is so beautiful because she's still very much alive in me. And I've been sharing my pictures of me and her side by side. That was a graduation photo. In the black and white photo, if you see it in the Twitter, YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, I shared a photo of me after I had Genesis alongside her before she had me. And the resemblance is just uncanny. We look like twins, and it's one of my favorite little collages. But yeah, I felt like I had to share because we're in the holiday season. And I'll never forget her begging for me to please come home that holiday. We had just been there in July, right, for her 75th birthday celebration. It was grand. And she was begging me because she had so many friends transitioning that she was very, very afraid of her own immortality. So even though she knew I had spit a grip to get home for the birthday party, she wanted me there for Christmas. And for her to make her transition before we could get there, no greater pain. And it's one of them pains that's indescribable when you've had a mother love on you and the community in the way she did. It's indescribable. I don't wish it on an enemy, although everybody will have to grow through. losing a parent or a sibling. And so I share it because I know that a lot of us are going through the grief that I'm experiencing right now. And because we're family and we feel. And I want to thank you guys so much for your love, your generous, kind words. It meant the world to me in my hour of grief. And I decided, to shake it off and go to see Smokey Robinson perform last night at the beautiful YouTube theater with my friends. Shout out to Marjorie, Deidre, Ken, and Sheila. We had an amazing time. And I'm on this live, but I am tired as ever. Okay. But Smokey Robinson is keeping me going. This man is 82 years old. Okay. He was dropping it. Okay. And he did. How many of you can go into a deep knee squat like you're sitting on a low seat? You're in a deep knee squat at 82. Well, y'all not 82. But how many can do it at 50? I know I cannot do what he did. He literally took a deep knee squat, family, and spoke to the audience. Not once did he do it, but twice. My knees are like creak, creak, creak. Okay? Smokey is the man. If you are ever privileged to see him perform, it is electric. That voice is still so velvety smooth. He knows all the words. And let me tell you something, family. That's not only exempt to him. I got the privilege of seeing Diana Ross at the Hollywood Bowl. Baby, my first super chat, it works. My first super chat. OMG. Thank you, Insane Optimist. Hello on the plight of the intrepid warrior. That is rich. So ScrewTube didn't lie. They actually gave me a little bit of monetization. I've been fighting with them because I don't see my membership tab. That's the best way for y'all to support me is to become members. But they won't give me my membership tab. I am so excited. Sorry, guys. I know y'all like, Angela, will you please get to the story? This just feels like Christmas all over the place. Thank you, and more thank yous for that blessing. But anyway, like I was saying, and I'm going to get to it, y'all. Please just bear with me. I beg your patience. I beg it all the time, right? Okay. But yeah, so when he did those deep knee squats, I said, I have no excuse but to come to you live, no matter how sleepy I am right now, because we hung all the way out. I mean, I didn't get to go and meet him personally, but for this man to sit up here and know all the words and to be throwing down. I mean, we was cruising together. And see, I didn't really grow up on his music, although I grew up in that era of music. Okay. But I know all the songs. My dad was a jazz head, like, oh my God, Stanley Jordan. He was jazz. And honey, the hip hop jazz is off the charts these days. And I'm super ecstatic to be a part of an era with the contemporary jazz movement towards the hip hop jazz, because I don't always like the lyrics, but the beat, baby, the beat. Okay. Anywho, I digress. Smokey, this one's for you. Back to the text. I just had to share, y'all. Okay, what's this doing? That's Kevin DeLeon. Y'all got to show y'all this fight between Kevin DeLeon. I got so much to share, but let's go one at a time, y'all. Oh, Lord, this is why we be here for 2 hours, because I was born to talk. It's a sad state of affairs, family, but this is how God wired your sister. I am just so ecstatic. I had just asked ScrewTube if I went on StreamYard, would I still be able to get a super chat? Well, Insane Optimist, you handled that question for me. So Newsweek reports that California reparations sparked concern over white people possibly qualifying. Now, This is what happens when you don't put up a secure enough gate. But we've got task force hearings coming up this Wednesday and Thursday in Oakland. So if you're in Oakland and you need information on where to go, please Gmail me at therepperspect@gmail. It's scrolling in the bar below. If you want to call in during the first hour, give public testimony, Gmail me at therepperspect@gmail, because I'm addressing this. Y'all know I'm going in. We fought the immigrants, the black ones anyway, to get lineage-based reparations. Now, I believe they're going to show up on Wednesday and Thursday and be agents of chaos yet again. And for the life of me, I don't understand why they're still allowed to bless the mic and cause confusion and jump up and down when they're not owed reparations. The mere fact that they're in this country thriving and doing markedly better than us in terms of wealth position, to me, that's your reparations. Y'all need to sit down somewhere. But listen, we need to now go an extra measure. And I don't know why Dr. Darity is a part of the economic arm, but didn't have a conversation, right, with the task force to tell them what his standard is. If they had just put in there the lineage-based reparations, and that you will have had to identify as African American or Black American on the census for the past few censuses, that's your gate. Because all they got to do is go back to the census and see how these white folks identified before reparations became a thing. Anywho, I digress. Let's get into the text. Under a bill signed by Governor Gavin Newsom in 2020, California is looking into possible ways to provide restitution to Black Americans who experienced the generational effects of slavery, and the state's reparations plan might potentially benefit white identifying individuals, some analysts have said. A 9-member reparations task force was deployed to travel across the state and develop reparation recommendations and propose solutions to its findings, which take into account the harms that Black people suffered. In a March 22 report, the task force said that those eligible for reparations should be descendants of enslaved African Americans or of a free Black person living in the United States prior to the end of the 19th century. Now, that's to include, in my opinion, the Black immigrants that were here during that time, long before the 65 Immigration Act. So some of them may benefit in this way. And let me go back and repeat that. Okay, so in a March 22 report, the task force said that those eligible for reparations should be descendants of enslaved African Americans or of a free Black person living in the United States prior to the end of the 19th century. Free Black person, okay? That might mean some Black immigrants may be entitled. Very few, very, very few. But if they got a lineage still over here, they could, they can prove that they were here before the 19th century, they'll get some Skrilla. In its interim report released in June, the task force was able to determine 12 areas of harm identified as the lingering effects of slavery, said task force member Jovan Scott Lewis, a professor at the University of California, Berkeley, and a geographer who researches reparations. And those areas are enslavement, racial terror, political disenfranchisement, housing segregation, separate and unequal education, racism in environment and infrastructure, pathologizing the Black family, control over creative, cultural, and intellectual life, stolen labor and hindered opportunity, an unjust legal system, mental and physical harm and neglect, and the wealth gap. Now, what white folk do you know benefit from these atrocities? So what would make them entitled? Whiteness. Now, one of the things that helps me to feel a little bit more at ease, because I thought that they were, and they still might, I show up as a new transplant here. I've only been here about 20 years, okay? But I have been harmed by the institutional systemic racism here in California, in the workplace. I can't say too much in housing, but in the workplace, definitely. Okay. So yeah, I was thinking that they were going to try to make a case around a certain small select group being able to benefit based on, some levels of harm. But it looks like everybody that's been harmed in any one of these ways, which is the majority of us here, will be benefited by the reparations we've got coming. Okay, moving on. Lewis said that the task force was able to identify 5 key areas that could be supported by some form of compensatory framework because those were the ones that were currently backed by data from the economics team. Okay, the 5 areas identified by the team are housing discrimination, mass incarceration, unjust property seizures, devaluation of Black business and healthcare. Those issues factor into determining the reparations. Let me make a note. I got to put employment. Oh, y'all. Sorry, guys. Just give me a second. This is how I do because I've got to type out my 3 minutes. If you're going to come on, type it out because they're going to shut your mic down after 3 minutes, child. The ghetto. Okay. Let's see here. Employment. Okay. Sorry, guys. I got to write it down as soon as it comes to me for my 3 minutes of when I go bless the mic. Okay, moving on. Based on housing discrimination alone that occurred between 1933 and 77, as much as $569 billion in reparations could need to be paid to African Americans in California, amounting to $223,000 per person. Concerns about the current eligibility criteria. Some experts are concerned that the current language of the eligibility criteria might open the door for individuals identifying as white to possibly, now, that's why I called it Crayola in the beginning, but I took that word out. But you're talking about white identifying. And what do we know, boys and girls, all together? When white folks are having issues with fertility, whether their men have a low sperm count or whether their women just can't hold on to their babies, they start to make other groups white. They made the Irish white, Joe Crow's people. They made now Irish used to be indentured servants. They believe that means they were slaves and that they are owed our reparations. Joe Crow's line. Italians were made white. The Jews were made white. Now you see the Latinas being made white. Only the light ones, the light bright and white looking. You see, that's why you understand and overstand that race is a social construct in this country designed to keep us bottom caste based on our skin tone. Okay? So, let me back that up. Some experts are concerned that the current language of the eligibility criteria might open the door for individuals identifying as white to possibly receive reparations money if they prove descendants and meet the eligibility criteria. Ain't that about a blip? And this is why I've got a problem with all this interracial sexual access. No other group does it to the degree that we do. Mostly our men. Our Black women don't do this interracial thing proportionate to our brothers. So now what you're doing is marrying outside your race. You're not even really marrying. You're making them baby mamas too. I'm not going to get into that's a whole nother broadcast, y'all. That's not this one. But now this is how the white identifying groups get to come up now and have their children become descendants of U.S. chattel slavery through the Black man's seed or the Black woman's womb. Back to the text. William Darity, a professor of public policy, African and African American studies at Duke University, told Newsweek that, quote, the way in which the language of the eligibility requirements is worded, it may open the door to that possibility. Now, see, this is what I have a problem with, Darity. Why didn't you tell the task force when we were fighting over this? I got questions. There's always a problem if the proposal is designed or written in such a way that individuals who are currently living as white, who may have ancestors in those two categories, would be eligible for Black reparations. So that is a potential problem, Darity said. He explained that if this is the complete language of the eligibility criteria, it is possible that an individual who's not living as a Black person in the U.S. could claim eligibility. Somebody whose ancestors were enslaved, subjected to chattel slavery somewhere else, might be able to come forward too. If that's the complete language, he said, I think it's problematic if somebody who has lived in a world where there are benefits and advantages to being white and who has lived under those conditions makes a claim for reparations. I think that's highly problematic and unethical. And this is why I need you to open your mouth before now. Meanwhile, Nkechi Taifa, an attorney and founder and director of Reparations Education Project, told Newsweek that white individuals who could possibly use the task force's criteria to claim reparations would probably do so by proving ancestry that was mostly a result of tragic events in the past. Quote, most of that ancestry might be probably from rape of Black women and girls, she said, adding that the possibility that people who identify as white could qualify for reparations is very problematic. For people of another race to be able to capitalize off of that based on a lineage criteria that allows for a loophole for them to be able to apply, it's really nonsensical, and it's even more ironic or a slap on the face when lineage might be based on rape, Taifa explained. However, Lewis, who is a task force member, clarified that the eligibility criteria is specific to a Black individual who can claim descendants from one of those classes of individuals. Quote, we're talking about people who today are recognized as African American and who can also establish lineage to African American persons enslaved in this country or free persons prior to the 1900s, Lewis told Newsweek this week. White individuals need to prove that they've been harmed. Though Lewis said that there will not be a specific race-based requirement per the reparations eligibility criteria, he also confirmed that a person has to prove that they have been impacted by ongoing discrimination that stems from American history. He said the person claiming eligibility based upon lineage has to prove that they have been harmed by the lingering effects of slavery. So we're thinking about housing discrimination. We're thinking about mass incarceration. We're thinking about experiences that have impacted a particular community that is having a descent from persons enslaved in this country, he said, adding that some might think it's very feasible for a white American to claim to have an ancestor who was enslaved. However, we're talking about there being this dual criteria by which one has to be able to determine eligibility rooted in this historical phenomenon, slavery, and its historical community, while also facing the ongoing consequences of racism in this society, Lewis explained. And so it's hard to imagine that there will be a white American who would be able to claim that they have an ancestor who was enslaved and who would also then say that they identify with the community of Black Americans that have been victims to the ongoing lingering effects. Jovan, look up the $5 white Indians, the Dawes rolls, and see how nefarious these glacier donkeys move when it's money involved. And look at our affirmative action, how white women largely benefit from that. I'm just saying, it's naive to think. It's naive to not be able to imagine that there'll be a white American who will be able to claim. They'll find a way. Out of no way, honey. Other concerns about the current eligibility criteria. Still, Taifa thinks that the task force lineage decision would be more limiting in terms of determining the number of Black people who are eligible for reparations. Not really. No, not here in the state. Here in the state of California, there's 2.6 million of us. 600,000 are Black immigrants. And I mean, if they intermarry, their American freedmen half is definitely entitled to reparations. Their children are. That Black immigrant wife or husband may not be. So you see how marrying within your lineage and having babies within your lineage, how it profits you. Two checks instead of one. Honestly, I think everyone should try to trace their ancestry, but it should not be a requirement mandated as a precondition to be able to qualify for reparations, she said. Now, me speaking, I believe if Negro, colored, mulatto is on your birth certificate, you have proven that you descend from U.S. chattel slavery. You should be entitled to your Skrilla. And like I said, that 200, what was it? 526 billion is just for the housing component of those 5 aspects that I read you. Does not mean we're going to get a dime. Yeah, you need to temper your enthusiasm. For all y'all thinking y'all about to pack up and move out here, you're going to be driven into homelessness at the cost of living out here before you see them reparations checks. It's not advisable. I got an article I'll share with you next about folks, trying to move out here to get in position for reparations. I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't advise you give up an easier way of life to come out here and tough it out in a very, very discriminatory job market. Racism abounds in the job market out here. And the exorbitant cost of living. For my 1,000 square round a foot condo, 2-car gated parking, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 10-minute walk to the beach, would rent for $3,000 a month. It's crazy. So I wouldn't advise that at all, because I don't know what's going to come. I don't know what amount of money. We're talking proposals. They're going to sit up and assess damages for those different 5 aspects I read you. And then I guess they're going to make a recommendation based on the quantitative amount of what these damages add up to. But that's how negotiations work as a professional at it. And this is the problem for me with folks throwing out numbers as low as 14 trillion for the federal debt. You haven't assessed what the 5 aspects cost American freedmen. How can you throw numbers around? You got to look at and assess those damages in each of those categories. Then you come up with a cumulative number. You negotiate from the very top of your arc. You don't negotiate where you want to end up. You meet somewhere in the middle. But to me, 14 trillion is the bargain basement. It's not nearly enough. It doesn't scratch the surface. And we waited this long. We need to get this number right, because we need to set up our children and our children's children well beyond our lifetime. Okay? You can't play with this number. Taifa also recommended that reparation claims eligibility should go beyond the enslavement era to include Black individuals who suffered discrimination in California up until 65, as they should be automatically deemed eligible without having to go through exhaustive genealogical study and analysis. No, Miss Taifa. She must be from Narca and Cobra. This is what we just fought to get lineage-based reparations. You choosing to migrate to this country doesn't entitle you to reparations based on racism. You're free, Taifa, Narc, and Cobra, Black immigrants, to start your own reparations fight based on racism. This fight is based on stolen labor, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives. Take your claims up with CARICOM. And I know why you don't want to do that, because they're not talking no Skrilla for y'all. And we, as the warriors, we've always been in this country where we are a fraction of the dominant society. We have been fighting in our never-ending Holocaust and are owed every penny. But we are fighting for reparations like we fought and won our emancipation. Because we know we're done as a lineage without it. Back to the text. Y'all, this may be the only one we get in today. It's almost 2 o'clock and I got to come read your comments. I cannot believe I did this again. There's a category of immigrants who have been here for a very long time and were subjected to Jim Crow's apartheid and suffer the same type of educational inequities, health disparities, and mass incarceration. Go have that fight, she said, as she was explaining that some Black individuals might be excluded from this reparations plan based on its current language. Absolutely. Now, let me help you Black immigrants understand something. When we get remedy in the educational inequities, the health disparities, and the mass incarceration, which you by and large don't suffer from because you make white income or closer to whiteness in terms of your income than the majority of us as American freedmen. You, generally, if you're Black, you come into this country with a wealth position. When you come from Africa, you usually descend from slave traders, excuse me. So you come from a wealth position. And then you come in here and you use your accents and your last names to climb right over top of American freedmen. Oh, y'all gonna want to be there on Wednesday. My comments are gonna be lit. Woo-wee! Woo-hoo-hoo! Y'all know how I bring the fire and the smoke. Oh, I brings the house down. They know they have been dealt with when Nirvana blesses the mic. Okay? Yeah, so, listen, you chose to be here. You knew of what we were enduring, and you chose to flee your Holocaust for ours. Now we got to pay for the fact that you fled your Holocaust for ours. That's not how any of this is going to work. Okay? Okay. Oh, child, the ghetto. She said as she was explaining that some Black individuals might be, okay. But Lewis said that this is something that the task force in California is looking into. I don't know why Lewis said that. We've already decided. Ain't nothing to look into. They're going to benefit when we have remedy in those areas, but they aren't owed no Skrilla. Lewis, I hope you didn't say this. I hope this is a misquote from the Newsweek. I will be addressing it on the call. Okay? Just know that. The task force's current reparations plan is not the final one. Members are set to send recommendations to Governor Newsom, and they are still currently working on those recommendations. What the New York Times reported was an early and preliminary presentation from the economics team that is working on what potential costs might be, Lewis said. Basically, between now and March, the task force will be coming up with and then finalizing the recommendations that we will send on to the state in our final report this coming summer. Okay, so that's that. Lord, child, the ghetto. I'm trying to care with y'all, but I just cannot. Okay. Let me stop sharing. All right, family. Now, this one, I'm not going to share the screen on this next one I'm going to do. Hi, y'all. Okay, y'all still in place. Welcome, one and all. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. And if you feel so compelled, bless the broadcast. I now have, what's that called? I now have Super Chat. So feel free. Just so tickled. Oh my God, I've come a long way. Okay, y'all, I'm going to come and get to your comments probably after this because it looks like y'all been busy. And y'all know y'all my co-host, so we got to dig into it. Oh my God, I'm so happy. And I'm so sleepy, but I'm glad to be here playing with y'all. Let's see here. Lord, I got so much to share. This is ridiculous, God. I'm gonna have... Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find this other crazy article. Where is it at? That's dealing with these folks. Oh, now I'm not going to share this on the screen because this is not a real reputable source. So I'm not even going to share the source. I think this person is just trying to stir up trouble. But it says U-Haul running out of moving trucks as Black families move to California for $223,000 in reparations. First of all, that number is wrong. That's just for the housing discrimination component. That's what they calculate those damages to be per American freedman, descendant of U.S. chattel slavery. But that's not all. And we don't know where they're going to land, okay? We're praying that we get cash because you know they're trying to do everything but cash. And I've been on there like full court press against programs that they give with the left hand and give away with the right. U-Haul is running out of moving trucks at locations across the U.S. Other truck rental companies are reporting similar shortages. California's reparations proposals have sparked a stampede of Black families moving to California. Governor Newsom's task force on reparations will complete its final proposal in 23 for $569 billion. That would provide $223,000 in reparations. That's lies. This is what I'm saying. Folks just be saying anything. Okay. Oh, for past housing discrimination. See, they didn't go far enough. This is what happens when you're not in the meeting for the past 2 years and you just start talking out the side of your neck, taking bits and pieces and trying to create an article. Vet your information. Vet the candidates who claim to be for reparations. You have to research everything. Look into how they're spending all that money you're sending to them. You can look it up. It's public information. I'm just saying. You got to vet everybody. Vet the organizations you get in bed with. Folks making one phone call and then claiming to be, that they started the reparations movement out here. I ain't seen them in nary meeting. You have to vet everybody, family. Lots of imposters, lots of grifters. Understand what I'm telling you, okay? Back to the checks. Governor Newsom said Black families must be made whole by paying reparations for decades of discrimination. Only California residents who can prove they are direct ancestors of slaves are eligible for the 220. Lies again. Well, we're the only ones that are eligible or supposed to be. But the number's not decided on. If there's going to be any money at all. That's what we're fighting for, like a full court press. Let me educate my daughter or my son. I don't have a son, but let us decide how to spend that money. I don't need you deciding how to do that. For what? Black immigrants to just go in and say, oops, I'm African American, check the box. I'm Black American, check the box. And now you got a free college education after descending from slave traders? No, thank you. That won't be an easy task. Ancestors must prove they are related by blood, not marriage. Ooh. Okay, I can see that. By blood. So that means if a American freedman is married to a Black immigrant and they have immigrant children, they have children, the children on the father's line will have descended from U.S. chattel slavery, while the Black immigrant mom would not get a check. Okay, that's right. They're claiming it won't be an easy task. Ancestors must prove they are related by blood, not marriage to ancestors of slaves. I told you that's a very easy task. If you don't have it on your birth certificate, because you're a millennial or you are a Gen Z, get your mama's birth certificate. My birth certificate says Negro. Okay? So, you got folks that can prove it on the strength of their birth certs because they weren't being called colored and mulatto. They weren't here. Not by and large before the 65 Immigration Act. So stop having people tell you how hard it is. They're saying Black Americans can use Ancestry.com to prove ancestry. Speaking of which, it's going to be hard when you use that to claim your Indian line, because your DNA, when it comes back, won't have Indian on there. Why is that? Because we're indigenous to this place and we came out of Africa. So it's still going to boil down to Africa. Your line is still going to take you all the way back to, like, mine is the Congo, Benin. That's the majority of our DNA. And they say it differs from each sibling. So each sibling should do it as well. And it's going to be one thing on your mom's side and another thing on your dad's side. But you don't have to go through all these links if you got a birth certificate. That's what I'm pushing for on the upcoming hearings, okay? To be eligible, a Black person has to prove that they were impacted by housing discrimination or harmed by the lingering effects of slavery, such as mass incarceration. So we're thinking about housing discrimination. We're thinking about mass incarceration. California is also considering creating a bureau that would help determine lineage. We have various genealogists testify about how this process works, said Lewis. Many of them were supportive of the fact that this could actually be done with little to no cost. Okay, are you planning to move to California for a reparations check? Honey child, please. You will be on Skid Row before you see a check. I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't do it. Hold on, y'all. Child. I may have to come to y'all midweek with the rest of this. Let's go see what y'all got to say about it. I cannot believe. I'm only at 2:04. Let's see. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Okay. Let's see what y'all got to say. And then I'll see if I can squeeze in a couple more before 3 o'clock. Okay. Oh, Roots Tracker is in here. Y'all need to reach out to her. She can help you. She says, I can help you with getting Cherokee Nation sovereignty. I'm in the process now. This is good to know. Hi, Gwen XOXO. Reach out to Root Trackers by Yaira. Yaira, you have to put a way for them to contact you in the link below. Put it in the comments. She's a genealogist. She says, Phoenicians been coming here. I don't know who Phoenicians are. I have to research. Hence the, oh Lord, where are my glasses, y'all? It gets so small over here. I can't see. Hence the Olmec heads and grassy pyramids in South America. Oh, did you know the Mayan ruins down in Cancun? The Mayans were black. Okay? They were us that built those pyramids over in Cancun. Oh, you learn so much. Okay, Roots Tracker is going to apply for Choctaw and Chickasaw too. Okay, we showed that one already. Just find the Dawes rolls and you're good. Huh? Yeah, that's right. If you look up the Dawes rolls, you'll see how the $5 white Indians became $5 white Indians and how they've been entitled to everything owed to us that the 5 tribes wrote us out of. Oh, okay. Roots Tracker says that we might be loosely hold on, y'all. Got a little scratch in my throat. I'm dehydrated. Make sure you hydrate, family. A lot of people are catching the flu and COVID because their body is, you're dehydrated. A lot of it is dehydration. I try to drink a gallon of water a day. A half gallon to a gallon. And I didn't drink yesterday. And so my throat is dry. Tucker line with Pocahontas. If my memory serves me correct, we might be distantly related, Sister A. Awesome. Oh, thank you. FBA Crypto Soldier, you are a very smart, lovely sister. Keep going. Oh, so sweet. Thank you. I receive your kind words. Y'all, why I keep doing this. What's up, Reps? I see you, fam. Oh, what you say? Get you some rest. I know it's been a roller coaster of emotions. Yes, Lord have mercy. Has it been a week? Whew. Dominique, I see you, fam. They will never be able to wipe the blood stain that white people maintain. It's the strength of the blood that will reframe the future that is ingrained. Come through. Correct. Smokey is in phenomenal shape. You got that right, Yaira. Honey, deep knee squats. Do you hear me? I mean, like practically on the floor, on his, not on the knees, but squatting and just resting there and having conversation. 82. I was through. Oh, thank you for the congratulations on your super chat. That was nice of you, Insane. It really was generous. The music is good memories, sis. Yes, y'all got to go see Smokey and Diana. Y'all got to see these people before they move on to glory, from glory to glory. You better check them out. They are out of sight. It's such a good time. It's such a good feeling. Oh my goodness. We were singing along. He was playing along. The ovations would not stop. I loved Barry Gorey was in the house. Okay. It was epic. It was good for my soul. I so needed that to shake my blues away. American Freedmen music for our soul, for everyone's soul, family. Truthfully, they had all types. Everybody was out. All the groups were out. And honey, he's so cold with it. He's now singing in Spanish. Smokey! Smokey! Oh, can you imagine Smokey singing in that smooth cat daddy crooning voice of his in Spanish? He could have been cussing me out because they didn't put no subtitles on the screen. He could have been cussing me out. I'd have been none the wiser because he was so smooth with it. Oh, we had so much fun. But I'm paying for it today, y'all. It's different party at over 50. When you were in your 20s, I can't do it like I used to. I need my nap, y'all. I need a nap. This Wednesday and Thursday, TYSM will try to catch it live. Oh, yes. Yes. If you don't know how to get the information to join our task force hearings this Wednesday and Thursday, the 14th and the 15th, you can join me live because y'all know I'm going live and y'all get to see me do my live comments and shut it down. I usually drop several mics and bombs at these task force hearings. So you don't want to miss it. You don't miss your girl. Get them all the way together because I'm going to use this article to get them all the way together. Me and my ancestors and my inner Christ, we're going to sit down and put pen to paper and it's going to be litty. Okay. You don't want to miss it. You can join me here live. And I prefer you come over here because I can't see chats anywhere else. And then you guys are like my co-host. Y'all keep it lit. So come on back. I'm going to be putting up the notices after I do this live. And you guys come on back. Yes, I love jazz. The creation and beautiful art form of American Freedmen. Honey, yes, Wiva. Yes, please hit the thumbs up, Royal Family. Thank you, Yaira. Liked and shared. Thank you, Insane Optimist. Yes, I do appreciate it more than ever now, Yaira. When I was growing up, I was like, oh my God. If you don't stop playing Miles, Stanley, Jordan, like, I don't know what I'd do without these legends now. But growing up, I just wanted to hear Earth, Wind, and Fire, the emotions. I want to hear we're riding on groove line tonight. Who's that? Ooh, ooh. Is that Heat Wave, who grew up around the street from me, around the corner, up the street and around the corner from me? Okay, y'all know it. Who else? I want to hear the Isley Brothers. I want to hear I'm riding high. Oh, is that Sky or is that riding high? I want to hear George Duke. Okay, I want to hear the Dookie stick, y'all. I do not want to hear Miles and them cats. I listen, but you do grow in appreciation as you get older. The Commodores, Brothers Johnson. What? Oh my God! Strawberry Letter 23. Y'all, we should sing that together sometime. Hi, Anita. I see you, fam. Welcome to the live. I thought they need to have claimed AA or Black on their paperwork the last 10 years. Well, it's something to that effect. All I'm saying is put up a more secure gate. We wouldn't be having these issues, okay? How can we in Illinois start our reparations? Anita Spears, you have to find a bill. That's how we got started out here. We found a bill. And remember back in the former ADOS days, they were telling us to go take over, foolishly telling us to go take over NAACP, the white money NAACP, the white money National Urban League. Remember that? No. The projects to take over are these bills that are laying in wait. You get with the author of that bill and you look at that bill and with your organization and you start to look at that bill and decide what you want that bill to be. Because if it wasn't for that work out here, if CJEC had not put in that work out here, we would not have lineage-based reparations. Because it was a free-for-all before we got a hold of the bill and then got a hold of the author, Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber, and we were at that table. And so by the time we got to the public hearings, Dr. Shirley Weber testified on our behalf that she intended it for the line. Not everybody. She said, we give it to everybody, American Freedmen will end up with 50 cents. So that's what you got to do. You got to comb through your current bills. Find out who the author of those bills were, who's sponsoring the bill. You and your org look over the language, and then you make friends with the author of the bill and be at your own reparations table. Because you see what's going to happen if you don't. It'll go the way of Evanston, where Narc and Cobra are at that table. Okay? Hi, Queen. Queen Yasmin. No, you have to identify as Black, though, and you have to class my ancestor from the 1870 census. Oh, my God, another super chat. Oh, my God, this fabulous diva. Oh, how do I show your thing on the screen? I want to share. Oh, I learned about you through the Reparations Task Force hearings. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It does pay off to be a big mouth and to scream up and down. I got to show it. I got to show your kind words and your generous donation to the channel. Thank you guys for supporting my voice on behalf of American Freedmen. Oh. I learned about you through the Reparations Task Force hearings, and your testimonies were full of fire. And I had to know, who is this sister? I look forward to you keeping the task force honest. Oh, my God. I feel like going home, Miss Fabulous Diva. We can pass a plate, go home now. We can pass a plate. Somebody heard me. Give him that fire and that smoke. I don't think you understand what this means to me. I really don't think you know, because I have been, what's the word I'm looking for? I have been criticized so badly for going hard for Freedmen in my Angela Nirvana fire way. You know, and folks trying to put me into a box, and folks trying to groom me to be a Democratic shill, and folks upset because I call out the puckery at every level. I call it out. I go so hard in the paint. They both admire it and want me to shut up at the same time. So for you to have found me through that, and to believe in what I was saying, and believe in the smoke and the fire that I always bring, and not try to put me into a box, and not try to make me out to be like anyone but who God birthed me to be. I have fought through, I want to say, 4 organizations to get to this place that I'm no longer a caged bird in this fight. And I'm blazing my own trail, thanks to people like you, thanks to my co-host in the chat, thanks to my support on Twitter, thanks to my supporters on Facebook. Y'all are why I keep going. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I leaped over a lot of comments. Let me go back. I had to flash it on the screen. I'm going to have to come back and make that my last flash, y'all. This is just so rich. I am just richly blessed. Okay, Lord, let me go back. Okay, we got a troll. Lord, today, where is the troll? I got to make Yaira. I'm gonna have to make you my mod, child. I'm just gonna have to. I don't even see him right now. I'll find him, y'all. I know it ain't Tyrone Luong. I hope you're not here causing trouble, Tyrone. Because you know I'm going to get you together. You don't want that fire and that smoke. I got enough to go around. I'm hotter than fish grease. But I do smooth myself out, because y'all got to get out here and go and smooth yourselves out. You can't be on this round the clock. You got to make sure the fight ain't on the inside, okay? Okay, I'm going back up because I jumped a lot and I got to get through the rest of my comments, y'all. This is the big story of today, okay? I went backwards. I'll get to my other stuff if I got time. I'm going to be here with y'all till 3. Okay. Tyrone says, Luong, why are FBAs scared of claiming American Indian? I don't think they're scared. I think that they're just misinformed. And I think Dane Calloway has a whole lot to do with that, because he's acting that one can't exist without the other. And I'm saying, why not get all the Skrilla? Why not get the Skrilla stolen from us by the 5 tribes and the white men? They all worked against us to make us bottom caste. You're foolish not to really find out the truth about if you have that in your line, because that makes you entitled to the best of both worlds. Okay, so I think it's because Dane Calloway is so busy. I think that, and I think he does it because I don't know why. I think that some people, I can't explain for Dane why he sits up here and pretends like slavery never existed. That's, like the only that we're indigenous to this country is absolutely true. No lies detected. What I oppose is that it's exclusively the end all to be all. That's not it. We're not just indigenous. We also descend from the slave trade. That was a very real trade. It really happened. And there's all kind of history and proof and evidence that it happened. You got black dive teams on this issue that are finding artifacts. What was I watching recently? Bus fire. Oh my God. Y'all know my mind goes a million miles a minute. Oh my word, it was on Netflix. And it was about the Geechee Gullah. Was it the Gullah people? Oh, no. It was about Barracoon. The beautiful man that was the last one on the last slave ship coming out of the Dahomey tribe. Oh, honey, y'all got to watch that on Netflix. I'm going to try to find the title for you. But it's epic. It's just rich. It's just rich. And I had a point I was going to make about it. Preferably it'll come back to me. God, give it back to me. I got to tell the people. Oh, thank you, God. What it is that this particular documentary shows how the divers found pieces of the ship. So what happened was slavery was, you weren't supposed to be able to import any more slaves into the country. And naturally, some white devils broke the law. And to hide the evidence of breaking the law, because I think you could do serious time in jail if it was found out that you were still importing the slaves. You have to understand, family, that during the slave trade, our population grew to 700,000. It wasn't until the breeding farms that our population grew to 4 million by the time we had fought and won our emancipation. So the bulk of us come from breeding like animals. They bred us like animals. Okay. And that's how we got to 4 million in population by our emancipation. Which is also why these white glacier donkeys started importing mass immigration, took away the 40 acres and a mule, and then benefited from 150 years of the Homestead Act. So they could put a 500-year wealth gap between us. And so for Dane to sit up here and say it did not exist, all you have to do is look at what historically happened on that last slave ship. And you need to watch the documentary so you can understand it more thoroughly than I'm explaining to you right now. But they literally they got the slaves off. This one particular slave, whose name fails me right now because I'm so tired I can take off running. He was on that ship. And this was out of Benin, where my people are from. And he told these stories, and they passed these stories down. And so he's got a whole lineage down there. It's called Africa Town. Africa Town. Thank you, God. I think that's the name of the documentary as well. You must check it out. So he blew up the ship because it was a crime, and this glacier donkey didn't want to go to jail. But they had dive teams. This one brother was a diver, and one of the majors got involved. I want to say National Geographic. One of the major white organizations went down there and found pieces of that slave ship. Because when they were hot on that white glacier donkey's tail, he lied and sent them on a witch hunt far away from where the actual incident happened. But they've been doing the history and the research and trying to piece the puzzle together. And then one white cat down there figured it out. No, it didn't happen over there. It happened over here. So he and a dive team went and discovered that there were pieces and remnants of the slave ship. That's happening all over the world. So Dane needs to stop those lies. Yes, we are indigenous, but we were also descended of slave trade. Both are true. A slave is a slave, and black was placed on European American Indians. There was no Africans brought to America. A slave is a slave, and black was placed on European American Indians. There were no Africans brought to America. Well, I just disproved that. Please watch Africa Town. I think you might be a Dane supporter, which is fine. That's what you choose to be. Oh, thank you, Anita. I think y'all need to be my. If you want to be a mod, please Gmail me at therepperspect Gmail. I could use mods. Tyrone says there wasn't that many Africans brought to the U.S. Many were prisoners of war, were American Indians of mainland North America and the Caribbean and white slaves. I don't know about that. We were indigenous because we discovered America before Columbus. Read the book. They were here before Columbus. There's another one. Before the Mayflower. You got to read. We were explorers already out of Africa, and we're already over here. Before the Mongolian, who are referred to as a Native American, who look more Spanish. Okay. Before they even became a thing, we were it all over the world. So the Pan-Africans helped remove you from Indianness and the fraternal order of the Red Men Freemasons. Okay, I don't know enough to speak on that. Hi, DJ. Seems like Darity dropped the ball on advising the committee. Moving on. Glacier Duckies, yes. Let's see here. I'm from California too, and I've been reading up on this. Thank you, The Anomaly, for joining the live as a co-host. I appreciate you. There's no such thing as a freedman when the Negro wasn't all chattel. The majority of us were treated as chattel slaves, Tyrone. I really don't know. You need to put some sources down because I don't know what you're really talking about. We were absolutely treated like animals. We were bred to 4 million. Or potentially profits our enemy. Why FBA Nashidi and scared of saying American Indian? Okay, I better not put that up there. I don't want to be in the middle of all that. I've said enough to put myself in the middle of all that. Folks know who've been here, how to read between my coded language. FBA should be the only ones claiming. Yeah, you're right. Have they said if their residency stipulation is like the ones that had to move out of state because they could no longer afford to live in Cali? Reps, that's what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting not for just the 2 million. I'm fighting for about the 4.5 million that were driven out of California. We were over 6 million at one time. So for those who were driven out of here, yeah, that's my fight too. I don't think it's fair. Because if that's the case, then you could just wait till a few more of us leave before you cut the checks, right? Just wait out the clock. Yes, D Anomaly. He's in the Bay Area. It's very expensive. And they're driving us out of the Bay as well. Every American Negro will not be entitled to reparations if they can prove their ancestor was a Bantu African on a plantation when ninjas will find that they were landowners during chattel slavery. Well, that you have a point, Tyrone. I don't know about your point. Some of your stuff is very confusing to me. I'm trying to understand, but what I do know is rumor has it that there were black slaveholders too. I don't know how they would be entitled to reparations if you owned slaves and you were black. If you were a freedman owning freedmen slaves, I don't know how you get a check, but. Woo! He says studios go for $3,000 in San Francisco. Oh my God. Well, I guess mine would feel like, a mansion. They put us through all this, but have Asians and everyone else give them money. Yes, Anita, absolutely, fam. Those are our reparations that they're giving them. You see, I don't have a problem with immigration. Altogether, boys and girls, my problem is the weaponization of immigration against American freedmen to keep us tethered to the bottom as the anchor of this country's capitalism with 3 Ks. You need to put a moratorium on immigration, and you need to close these borders until you make American freedmen whole. That's how I feel about it. And now Joe Crow is talking about what? He's reduced funding to the HBCUs from 40-something billion to $2 billion while working feverishly during the lame duck session before the GOP come into the House. He's trying to push for 2 million of the DACA to receive citizenship. $3K. No wonder why so many of our lineage had to move out the state. That's right, D Anomaly. When you want 10, don't ask for 5, ask for 20. That's negotiations. You don't start where you want to land. Unless you can prove your indigenous lineage to child or woman Indian prisoners of war made chattel on a plantation in mainland America or Caribbean, then you should be entitled to restitution. Interesting. I don't know enough about what you're sharing. I would love to see you write some resources. My cousin moved here. No, I agree. Oh my God. Another super chat. I am so speechless. I am humbled. Keep the passion, Miss Nirvana. We love and appreciate you. Frank Smith 16, thank you for your generosity and for your kind words. I appreciate that so much. I'm going to flash it when I get down there because I'm going to lose my place again. I'll flash it when I get to you. Bless you, each and every one of you. Wow. Look at God. I almost went back to bed and didn't come on until later today. But I thought about Smokey doing a deep squat and talking to the people. And look at how y'all blessing me. Look at God. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Thank you. My cousin moved here from AZ with her fam. They're in motels because the Airbnb didn't work. Luckily, they have a business that is taking off. Praise God. This is why I fight, y'all. This is why we fight. My co-hosts fight. Y'all fighting. Y'all over here getting education, and I'm loving it. The edutainment. Stolen land, not labor. Because America was already built up. Without African labor, we had highways, mounds, pyramids, farms, government before Europeans came. Wow. No, the land was definitely stolen. There's no question about that. The labor is stolen, fam. I don't understand why you say this labor wasn't stolen. We worked the plantations. The cotton industry made $1 bazillion. Our bodies profited this country that wasn't formed until 1776. When I look at photos from yesteryear, I don't see pyramids in America. I don't see highways. So how was it already built up? You got to share some resources. I don't understand. Epigenetics matter in this situation, and immigrants should be fighting France and other European nations. Amen to that, D Anomaly. That's what I said. You got a justice claim? Start that fight. That's not my fight. That's not my fight. And I'm going to have to stress that when I get on this thing on Wednesday. Tyrone, Native Americans can't be Amerindian, especially in the Southeast, because they don't and can't identify with first contact nations. Only American Negroes can identify as American Indians in the East and the South. I'm sort of understanding that one, sort of, kind of. See? If your credit is average to bad, it's not good enough. No, you don't even qualify to pay rent, let alone buy a house. Why California reparations and not Carolina reparations or Georgia reparations or Alabama reparations? Well, darling, listen, we're fighting on two fronts. Comrades, I need y'all to stay patient. There's lots of new people coming to get information over here, okay? So I know it's repeat for y'all. Y'all already know, but he has an honest question. Tyrone, basically, each state has their own reparations fights that they're having right now. Even the Carolinas. One of my comrades was fighting for reparations out there, but she hit a wall. In New York, they're fighting for reparations, but Narcan and Cobra have got the table on lock, especially after they saw what we successfully did to lock them out here. Now, there are Narcan and Cobra folks sitting on the task force, but we defeated them 5-4 on lineage-based reparations. Okay. So you have the state claims, which is what I'm fighting. I live in California, so I fight for those reparations. Carolina has to fight for theirs. Georgia, Alabama. Everybody has to fight on a state level for the reparations, because the federal reparations is the long game. But we need immediate relief to close this racial wealth gap. And that's one of the ways that we're seeking to get that done out here. So if you weren't here when I explained the process to one of my other lovely comrades in the chat, press rewind after the tape renders, because I have to keep going. I'm at 2:40 and I want to get through all the comments. It's funny how no one said a word when others got their cash, and now we close. You see everything coming out the woodwork. Honey, Yaira, tell the truth. Shame the devil. The governor signed the bills, yes, that we pushed. Understand, Governor Newsom did not sign that bill until we got the help of Maxine Waters and Ice Cube to put pressure on him. That bill was about to return back into the nothingness from which it came. It was about to turn to smoke. In the 11th hour, we got that done with their help. I don't think that would have happened without Ice Cube or even Maxine Waters. They put pressure on the governor to sign. D Anomaly says, Tyrone, why don't you get it cracking in Georgia, Carolina, Alabama, etc.? He needs to get it cracking in his state. I don't know where he lives. California reparations apply to Negroes who are indigenous to tribes of California, Manila, Galeon, Asian slaves who replaced Negro Indians. You speaking a whole nother thing that I don't have enough information on to really argue effectively. Not even argue, have an exchange. I don't. Okay, let me help you. The reparations are owed to those whose slave masters bought them out here for the gold rush. There was a federal fugitive slave law that California tied themselves to. So when our ancestors, when they ran away, the state, once they captured them, would return them back to their masters. Also, eminent domain was a big thing out here. So the Bruce family, everybody knows about how that property, that beachfront, was just returned to them after 100 years. So white folks been taking stuff since forever. And now what we're doing is leaning in on what we're due. So I don't know about these tribes of California. I don't know Manila, Galeon, Asian slaves who replaced Negro Indians. I think you're talking about the Mongolian slaves. And yes, they did replace us, but I don't really call us Negro Indians. I say we were indigenous. There's a difference between Africans who were indigenous before this country was ever even thought of and birthed into America in 1776. We were here long before these Mongolian looking Spanish ones that you're referencing. These Manila, Galeon, Asian slaves. I don't know if they were slaves. So that's a whole nother, like, you just throw me off. I don't understand that part. I understand that we were indigenous and then enslaved. I understand that we came from Africa and were enslaved. But I don't understand about this Manila, Galeon, Asian slave you reference and how they replaced us. This is what we should be doing everywhere. Absolutely. Now, CD Anomaly, you are onto something, but people like Dr. Darity, quite a few people believe that we should not fight for state reparations. They're saying that most states can't afford to pay out reparations. I see them do it all the time. Down here, Newsom is taking care of all the illegals he allowed into this country, allowed into the state as a sanctuary state. So I don't like for us to be sounding some false alarm that they can't afford it. Say they decide that we're due $500,000. That's the number that they settle on. Because we're owed far much more. Once we look at the full number of all the areas that I mentioned to you, it's going to amount to quite a bit. But say we get awarded $500,000. All you have to do is set it up on installments. That's all you have to do. So my thing is this, it's going to happen with or without you. And the quality of how it happens on the state level is going to be very contingent on whether or not you're at the table. It will not be robust if you're not at that table. I'm just telling you, if you don't control it, you will be on the menu, and it'll be a nothing burger like Evanston housing vouchers that only 16 people qualified for. And I don't even think that they can even benefit from it, because once again, they've been neutralized economically. That money was set aside by way of marijuana taxes, which I pray they don't tie any of that to out here. Well, I guess it depends. I don't really care where they get the money from. Just run us those checks. But the bottom line is that chunk of change, I think it was about $20,000. You could only use it for home improvements and a down payment on a home loan. But if your median income is $40,000, who's going to lend you the rest? If your median income is $40,000 and the median home price is $500,000, who is going to lend you the rest of the money? Even if they give you a $20,000 down payment, who's going to put a loan on a $40,000 salary on a home valued at $500,000? Even if they gave you down payment assistance, it's still $480,000. You see? So that's why you got to go through and find these things and be at that table and secure that table. But no, I'm not going to be out here with a bill and not do something and capitalize on that. That is utterly ridiculous. And as far as I'm concerned, we should be creating bills. We'd be more prone to get something from the state before we get something from the feds, but you got to put up a secure gate. You got to set yourself up to get 2 checks, right? Meaning you got to put the language like we did out here. The language is in there that state reparations does not exempt the feds from their obligation to us as well. If that language isn't in there, then the state can be the only and last buck for you. And you don't want that when you got checks coming from everywhere. Why not get the checks from the 5 tribes, the checks from your state, and the checks from the feds? So I get tired of silly folks. Well, let me not call them silly. I get tired of hearing people talk against the state repair when they're going to do it with or without you. And if it's without you, it will be a nothing burger. And it will include everybody. California is the jet setter. It will vibrate to other states eventually. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yaira. And this is what I try to prepare them for with the Freedmen protest voter strategy. And then they go out here and vote for Warnock. Hi, Black Star TV. Facts, and we want Skrilla. We ain't on these programs. D anomaly. Tyreek ain't indigenous to California. His ass said his family before 99 is from Alabama and Detroit. Well, you don't have to be indigenous to California. That's what I'm fighting for. I'm not indigenous. I'm from Ohio. You know, so hey, we still suffer the same harms and the discriminations out here. I'm fighting for those of us who migrated here. You're beautiful, wonderful, amazing, and inspiring. God bless you, sister. It takes one to know one, my love. Hi, DJ. Tyrone, because those states don't have Black people trying to start committees for reparations. DJ, drop the mic. That's how it happens. You got to find this stuff and you got to make it your own, and you got to put yourself at your own damn reparations table. 1 bill out of 6. I don't know what that means. Reparations in California were only applied to Manila, Galeon, Asian or Pacific Islands, Australian, Polynesian slaves, or American Indians of California who were slaves of Spanish colonies. No. Can you show that they have been marginalized by institutional systemic racism out here due to Blackness? Then they are not entitled. Now you're going off the rails, Tyrone. The children should be entitled to reparations. Yeah, the children will be. The whole line is. No, Tyrone is on a whole. He wants Tyrone, the reparations you're talking about, you need to start that. You need to start that. That's not the reparations we fighting for all these other people you talking about. Our people reparations would be in the 13 colonies in Spanish or France, colonized southern colonies. No, that's absolutely not true. DNA has nothing to do with genealogy. DNA has everything to do with lineage. But the bottom line is we're talking about specific harms. And you need to read up on what the harms were here in California. There are too many to list right now. Now, I shared with some of the damages out of that New York Post article. If you weren't here in the beginning, you got to rewind. But please know that they owe for making us bottom caste out here and for legislating us out of the state. Dude said DNA has nothing to do with genealogy. Woo, wow. What's the call-in number? I don't have a call-in number on purpose. Tyrone, I have a feeling we be fighting a lot. Tyrone is a troll. I suspect he's a troll. Are you a troll, Tyrone? Because you starting to sound like one. But guess what, family? Even if he's a troll, he's being respectful, okay? And those are only trolls that if they put up all this kind of nonsense with the sex ads and carrying on, those are the only ones who I silence. But if you're a troll and you're putting this stuff in here, guess what I know about my co-host? Y'all gonna handle it. DNA does have a lot to do with genealogy. It is an added component now. I could be wrong, but I'm going to start ignoring him until I can figure that out. Me too. Me too, family. I am too. Let me keep moving. We're going to get past that because that's not this broadcast. Y'all need to start a whole nother broadcast about Tyrone's issues. I'm moving on so we can get on. Maybe I can get this last story. Ooh. Freedmen 336, I see you, fam. We are getting our reparations, no doubt about it. Come through, Gwen. XOXO. Yes, yes, yes. And more, yes. I'm so excited. I want to be like Smokey too when I grow up. I love Nina Simone. Yes, family. RPSUB. RPSU2B. Is that my family that gives me all those wonderful donations to the broadcast? I swear that looks like him. I was talking about him earlier, y'all. I don't know. Folks be coming over here with all kind of mysterious names. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Rashad, is that you? And Katina? and baby Teddy? Oh, y'all in here talking about Jason Black and Tyreek. I'm going to leave that alone. Martin Norwood, Hypnotic Brass, Angela. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Hypnotic Brass. Yeah. All right now. Was that a group? I don't know Hypnotic Brass. Are you talking about me? I think I'm Hypnotic Bronze. No bullshit. I see you, fam. Wait. Now you know the Ohio players, right? You know whose daughter I am, right? Yeah. I am the daughter to an original band member of the Ohio players. Percussionist. Fazo. Phil Scott Heron. Although a bit different. Oh, I love Phil Scott Heron. Hit the like button, everyone. Woo-hoo! Like the video, family. Support our sister. Thank you, family. FBA California Reparations. Oh, no. We said we're going to ignore him. Makes no... Okay. I'm not dealing with Tyrone. I'm going to move past you, Tyrone, because you're getting in the way of what I'm feeling. Black is not an ethnicity. Now, Tyrone is right about that. Black is a color. Black is a social, racial, racist construct designed by white folks and folks who have been deemed white to keep us bottom caste. Or if there isn't one, we have to make a bill. That's right, the anomaly. If you don't have any bills, you have to write that bill. You can fashion it and construct it after our AB 3121. Take that language, make it your own, and find a sponsor and get that bill pushed through. That's the work. As a member of the Contemporary Reparations Grassroots Movement, if you want to get involved, please send me a Gmail at therepperspect at Gmail. We've got partners all throughout the country that we can align you with. Where's the live link? Tyrone, you're not getting no live link because I know we're going to be going at it. And Lord knows, this can't be the Tyrone hour. I just don't have no more time left. Okay, City Hall or County Building. How do I get the bill? You have to research the bill. It's Google. Google reparations bills in wherever you are, and it should come up. You'll see the bill, the number on the bill. Ours was AB 3121, and that's where you start. And if it's not there and you don't have any, create it and use the language from the AB 3121 to get yours done. Keep going, sis. Oh, yes. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much for your kind words. Exactly, Diva. Me too. And I had to follow her. Oh, Lord, it pays to be a big mouth at the task force hearings. Lord, y'all don't know what I went through to give freedom to my voice in this space. It's been a lot. Folks, it's been here from the beginning, though. We learn from our failures more than victory. The key is we can't give up. Yep, you're right about that. Well, I had many people help me to keep going. Tamara Johnson-Shealy, who was running for Congress down in Georgia, she was the first one to give me, to allow me to come and be a co-host on her platform. And she pushed me out the nest while at the inaugural conference for ADOS and said, sis, you ready to do this? And if it wasn't for her and so many others, too many to count, that every time I got kicked in the gut, they would tell me to keep going. Some people saw me in my infancy stages on Fox Soul. Y'all want to see me on Fox Soul? Let's look at it, y'all. These are my humble beginnings. Oh my God, let's go find it. Oh, it's rich, y'all. Hold on. This is in my very humble beginnings. Here. Uh-oh. Oh, y'all look at me. Y'all gonna get a kick out of this one. Let me share my screen. Let's go back. Y'all, remember, it's my humble beginnings, okay? Don't judge me.
I went to Ghana last year. We've been talking about reparations since the end of slavery, pretty much. 40 acres and a mule. Mm-hmm. Everybody's been trying to get us reparations. I mean, they got all these different people in Congress. I know Charles Blow has spoken before Congress trying to get us reparations. How's your group any different?
Well, first of all, back to what Chad was saying, the distinction, American descendants of slavery. The reason why we need that distinction is because when you say African American, you can be from any part of the world. You can be from Africa and be in America. Mm-hmm. You can be born by way of African parents in America and be coined as African American.
Right.
You can come from the Caribbean and now you're Caribbean American. So we need that distinction of American descendants of slavery to embrace being from this country because we have a justice claim. That is reparations. When we say American descendants of slavery, that means you were brought here and your ancestors were enslaved here. Mm-hmm. They were the shoes, they were the machines, mm-hmm. and all of the wealth that you see in this country is a byproduct of our ancestors' enslavements. So we need that distinction because, as you mentioned prior, not everybody is entitled to the reparations in this country. Sure, the Caribbean
have CARICOM. They have CARICOM.
Okay.
The Africans can take up their issues with their colonizers, but we don't have any issues with our immigrant brothers and sisters. But I can tell you this, it's masking our failure in this country.
Okay.
Because the government expects for us to eat slavery. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to eat the slavery in this country. And I want to also make this distinction that reparations is not just for slavery, but it's for accrued, ongoing, systemic racism oppression and
Yes,
disadvantage
we understand it.
in the
Jim
country our
Crow.
ancestors built with their lives. So I need that distinction because folks always want to say slavery was a bazillion years ago. No, it wasn't.
It's still going on pretty much.
It's still going on through
things.
private prison industrial
We're
complex.
still being oppressed, Angela.
We're
You
still
understand?
being
Okay.
oppressed.
So, but slavery started brought here 400 years ago because the year returned. Ghana went to Ghana last year.
Okay, y'all, I can't stand.
So you saying that
they gonna strike me. Hold on, y'all.
You prove that your ancestors were brought here to this particular country, not dropped off in Jamaica, not dropped off in the Caribbean.
I can't share the whole thing because I'll get a strike.
Just let you know, because I want to make sure.
I will get a strike if I share the whole thing. And I don't want that. So I just shared it. You can go and see the full thing. It's about 16 minutes long. You can see the full thing on ScrewTube, okay? But, and you saw, what did it say under my name? Co-founder of the ADOS movement. Okay? For folks who want to sit up here and act like other folks founded this movement. No. That would be me, those comrades on that stage, and a lot of other folks who are our unsung sheroes and heroes. Not these folks laying claim after showing up for one phone call. I'm just saying. Ooh, that's back down memory lane. I was trying to get my thoughts together. That was my first TV appearance on the issue, and I was very, very new. Oh, very new. I look at it now, and there's so many things I would change in the way that I said things, in the way I packaged it. Wow. Do you get it? Do you got it, brother? We can't give up. We're not giving up now. That will never happen. That's not how we're wired. We have the warrior blood of our ancestors. That DNA won't let us quit, child. This is a thankless child, please. We are fighting even in our sleep, okay? We are fighting in our sleep because we're done without it. Okay, I'm moving past Tyrone. Oh, see this kind of nonsense. Block the user. I'm trying to get to this other super chat. Let me jump. Thanks for explaining, Angela. You're so welcome, my love. Tyrone, I'm moving right past you. Insane Optimist, look up Africa Town on Netflix. Whole documentary. Yes, we have black slave teens. Let me find this. Hold on, y'all. Oh, God. Hold on.
The Middle Passage refers to the stage of the Atlantic.
Since Tyrone gonna fight, y'all, he's slowing up the show. Blame Tyrone. Oh, who said that? Oh, no. Insane Optimist ask a question. Tyrone is the agent of chaos for the day, okay? I love you, Tyrone, but something's going on with you, boo-boo. I can't do you right now. I can't. Hold on. Let me show y'all this. This is for Insane Optimist. Hey, he blessed the broadcast, so we got to bless him back. Let's look at this, family. Make sure y'all can see it. Okay.
Slave trade in which millions of enslaved Africans were forcibly transported to the Americas across the Atlantic Ocean. One group is taking a literal deep dive to discover more of that history and to raise awareness of the implications for people today. Jeffrey Brown has more for our Race Matters and Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
Under the sea, a magical world. And also, if you look hard enough and you know how to scuba dive, a living link to America's tortured past. Jay Hagler has seen it.
Combining the importance of history and ancestral memory and understanding how that applies today, combining those things with scuba diving, that was a match made in heaven. Attention to everybody, attention on deck. Make sure that you're close to and with your buddy. We have an hour trip to the dive site.
Hagler is part of Diving with a Purpose, a group of primarily Black divers who love to go underwater, but also have a larger mission: to find and research sunken ships from the international slave trade.
The stories that we tell are important, and more importantly, the untold stories. These stories, the Guerrero, and then many other ships, as we got more involved in the search for these ships, became exciting because most people haven't heard the story, including myself.
Diving with a Purpose, or DWP, was founded in 2003 by divers Ken Stewart and Brenda Lansendorf to join an ongoing effort to find the remains of the Guerrero, a ship that wrecked on a reef in the Florida Keys in 1827 after a battle with a British warship trying to enforce anti-slave trade laws. Of the 561 enslaved Africans on board, 41 drowned.
So let's do some gear checking.
Tara Roberts, a National Geographic explorer and storytelling fellow, has written on the slave ships, the people on them, and the divers looking for them in a cover story for the magazine titled Hidden No More. That's Jay Hagler in diving gear.
Most people know the name of the Mayflower, the ship that brought the Pilgrims over to the Americas. But who knows the names of the Guerrero or the Henrietta Marie or the São José Paquete de Africa? It's helping bring those lost souls back into memory and honoring them and acknowledging them.
Robert's life changed, she says, when she first saw a photograph of DWP divers in the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture in Washington, D.C.
Seeing a picture specifically of Black women on this boat in wetsuits, I don't know what it was about them. They looked so free and so joyous. They reminded me of superheroes, and I wanted to be like them.
In 2018, Roberts quit her job with a D.C. nonprofit and joined the DWP Divers. According to slavevoyages.org, a database of decades of research by scholars at a consortium of universities, more than 36,000 transatlantic voyages were made between 1501 and 1867, carrying some 12.5 million captured people to ports in the Americas. It's believed 1.8 million lost their lives in the course of the journey known as the Middle Passage. Around 1,000 shipwrecks have been recorded, yet fewer than 10 have ever been located and studied. Diving with a Purpose is part of the Slave Wrecks Project, an international group of researchers and institutions hosted by the National Museum of African American History and Culture, combining maritime archaeology with training and community engagement.
Welcome back.
Tara Roberts recalls coming upon an anchor when she dove what are believed to be the wrecks of two Danish ships, Fredericus Cordis and Christianus Quintus, that sank off the coast of Costa Rica in 1710.
So it's very surreal. And then to see this artifact from the 1700s and to know the history attached to that artifact, this is just an amazing moment to actually put my eyes on this piece of history.
It really is actually, I would call, spiritual.
Jay Hagler has made more than 1,000 dives at several sites around the world.
And going down and searching for the ship, we're like a crime scene investigator, because slavery is literally the biggest crime, global crime, in the history of mankind.
One of the best known wrecks is the Clotilda, burned and sunk purposely by its owners in Alabama's Mobile Bay to hide the evidence of its illegal voyage in 1860. It's the subject of renewed interest now with a National Geographic documentary, a book on its history,
A sense of pride.
and another documentary that recently premiered at Sundance focusing on the descendants of the more than 100 enslaved brought on the ship from West Africa. Indeed, it's the continuing connections these wrecks have to today that motivate those in Diving with a Purpose. Roberts has a new 6-part National Geographic podcast, part travelogue, part memoir, titled Into the Depths, to explore past and present.
I wonder if Black divers would notice different details, if they would focus on finding artifacts that help us understand the full humanity of the captive Africans. I hope that people come away knowing some facts that they didn't know before. I hope that they fall in love with these divers in the same way that I have. I hope people are inspired to actually come be a part of the work.
I think it was a great year and did some outstanding work. With that said, we're going to recognize our new advocates.
Getting a new generation involved is key, says Jay Hagler. Diving with a Purpose runs programs for young people across the country, as well as in Mozambique and Costa Rica.
The hook is diving. Scuba diving is so exciting. And once they start diving, then we give them a purpose. We say, hey, how about learning about history? And then the world is their oyster.
Is there an understanding that a lot will never be found?
Yes, there is. And the important part of this entire journey is literally telling the untold American story. If we do not find the ship, that doesn't mean that we do not tell the story. As long as our young people take the mantle and tell those stories, that's what's important.
For now, researchers and divers, including members of Diving with a Purpose, continue to search for the Guerrero and other ships. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Jeffrey Brown.
And let's hope they find them one day. Fascinating.
Okay, guys, wasn't that rich? Hold on.
Ship that came to America have been.
Oh, wow, they were about to do the, oh, I need to share that again. Hold on, guys, that was a good one about to come up right behind it. They were going to deal with the Clotilda. That's Cudjoe Lewis's slave ship, the Clotilda, that I was telling you guys had been found. I have bought up the Netflix documentary commercial. Let me play that one instead, since I closed that one out. But PBS NewsHour reported on those findings. Hold on.
Able to talk to our people, because you have this type of history.
Hold on, guys.
Your ancestors gonna always
I'm gonna back it
talk
up.
to you. From birth, my daddy, he always wanted us to be able to talk to our people, because you have this type of history. Your ancestors gonna always talk to you.
The way my mother told me, Timothy Mayer, a local businessman, made a bet that after slavery was abolished, that he could still bring Africans into the country. He went and brought them back here and burned the ship to conceal the crime.
It's slowly been erased, and as far as I can remember, it's never been in history books.
The Mayer family lied to lead people to the wrong area so they wouldn't find the ship.
How should I say this? I don't want the momentum of the story to just be focused on the ship. It's not all about that ship.
The village that these Africans built, they called African Town.
They created this thriving place, and they've been holding it down and fighting ever since. But by 2019, African is completely surrounded every direction by some form of heavy industry.
What person want to wake up knowing that they sitting on historic land, but they got to smell the chemicals from a factory?
A lot of influential people involved in all this. I think the Book of Secrets is going to be open.
I don't want our history to be taken the same way our people were taken.
But everybody wants to know something about their ancestors.
History
like a puzzle that fit together.
I don't want to be a part of it. I would like for us to be it.
As a child, I thought the story was sad. Now, I don't get sad no more. Because we still here. My only fear is for my people's story not to be told.
Oh, it's called Descendant. Descendant on Netflix. Y'all got to catch that. Okay, I got one more to share, and then I'm going to go down and, oh, Lord. We need more time together. I'm going to have to come back. That's just all there is to it. I got too much news to share. It's not going to just work on one day. I got to show you all this one. I really do. The one that was about to play that I stopped before it could play. This is about the Clotilda being found.
The schooner Clotilda brought 110 Africans to U.S. shores in 1860, decades after it was illegal to import slaves into the country. Those slaves were the last of an estimated 389,000 Africans delivered into bondage in mainland America from the early 1600s to 1860. The wreckage of the boat was found in Alabama's Mobile River. Megan Thompson has been reporting on the search, the history, and the meaning of it for those slaves' descendants. Here's her latest report.
We are at the upper end of Mobile Bay. This is the route that Clotilda took on its illegal voyage to bring people here to Alabama to enslave them.
James Delgado is a historian and maritime archaeologist who's researched the history of this inlet on Alabama's southern coast. Delgado says Mobile Bay has been an important place for trade for centuries.
The trade that ultimately changes everything is cotton. By the time the Civil War breaks out, Mobile is exporting over 500,000 tons of cotton. It's the basis of the entire economy, not just for the Mobile area, not just for Alabama, but for the entire South.
In 1860, buying and selling slaves was still legal and slave labor was in high demand. But importing slaves had been illegal for more than 50 years. A wealthy Mobile landowner named Timothy Maher made a bet he could pull off an illegal run to Africa, where slaves were much cheaper than in America. Maher paid Captain William Foster to sail the Clotilda to what was then the Kingdom of Dahomey. Foster purchased just over 100 slaves and returned to Alabama, sneaking into Mobile Bay and then north into the Mobile River under the cover of night.
The next part of the story, and we don't know much about it other than a few carefully chosen words by the perpetrators. I then took my schooner and burned and sank it, says Captain Foster.
Last year, after strong winds pushed water levels to extreme lows in the Mobile River, a journalist for the Alabama news website AL.com found a shipwreck in the area where the Clotilda is believed to have been burned. Experts, including James Delgado, were called in. But Delgado says he could see right away the shipwreck was too big to be the Clotilda. Delgado and others knew they were close. The Alabama Historical Commission continued to team up with Delgado's company called Search Inc., the National Geographic Society, the Smithsonian Institution, and the Slave Wrecks Project to do a full-scale assessment of a section of the Mobile River. They found a better candidate beneath the muddy waters, as seen in this video from National Geographic.
There's one target in particular that stands out. It's roughly the same size as Clotilda. 86 feet long and 23 feet wide, according to its registration documents. Frames of oak, as well as planks of southern yellow pine. Fasteners all made of iron. We haven't seen a single fastener yet made of copper or brass. We've got a ship of the right size in what we think is the right place. At this stage, where we're at, this could be Clotilda.
Yesterday, the team announced they had found the Clotilda. In Africa Town, a small community in North Mobile of about 2,000 people, founded by slaves who came on Clotilda, it's a powerful moment for descendants and residents.
We think that would be one of the most historic finds in America, not just in Africatown. The whole story becomes life and becomes true. People will get excited about the community, to rebuild it, to give it its prominence.
And we'll have the proof that we need to know that we was part of the history of Mobile.
We need to tell it. We need to share it. We need to expose it to the world.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Megan Thompson.
And our thanks again to Megan Thompson from NewsHour Weekend for that report.
Was that not epic? So, for those who keep trying to convince you that slavery from Africa did not occur, the village of Dahomey, that's where my DNA is traced back to. So the proof is in the findings. These people are actually researching it and going out here to dispel people like Dane Calloway and Tyrone, who clearly don't believe that they imported Africans to slave this country as chattel slaves. Too much evidence out there that states otherwise. Sandra Stafford, welcome to the live. You got that right. Ding, ding, ding. Cuzzo Lewis. Okay, I'm not going to even fool with you, Tyrone. He's a Dane Calloway nut. He sure sounds like one. Yes, right now I am looking at Natural Geographic story. Ooh, thank you for sharing. Dane Calloway was debunked years ago. Well, I just can't follow anyone that denies that the slave trade never existed. It's too much evidence out there, historical facts that say it did, so I can't get down with it. They Came Before Columbus is a 3-part book. Thank you for sharing that. Well, I think it would serve Tyrone to read it. Okay, I'm not going to dignify him with a response. Woo-hoo. Thank you for the book recommendation. Africans and Native Americans by Jack D. Forbes. Thank you for that. Hi, Daughter of Zion. They'll talk about residency this week. Thank you, at the California Task Force hearings. Once again, if you'd like to weigh in the first hour of either day, Gmail me at therepperspect at Gmail, and I can send you the links so you can call in or go live. They're in Oakland. Thank you, Daughter of Zion. Here he is. I'm going to read the rest, and I'm going to keep that up there. Thank you, Frank Smith 16. I appreciate your super chat and your generous, kind words. The Anomaly says his information comes from Russians and only uses like a scholarship. What books have you read? Oh, I think he's still fighting with Tyrone. I'm moving past that. You deserve it all and more, Sister Angela. Thank you, Yaira. Q-Lane, I see you, fam. Michael Jordan, Freedmen on the deck. No $5 Freedmen over here. No, that's right. We're putting up the gate. We got to do it this Wednesday, Thursday. Task Force hearings are back. I will be live, fam. So please join me. I need y'all co-host in the chat, getting folks all the way together about how it's going down over here. Wait a minute. Who in the world? Somebody got my number? What the what? I assure you I am not a nut, but that story on the Clotilda, about the Clotilda, is complete horse doo-doo. You need to take a little closer look behind the players. Actually watch Dane Calloway's video on it and then do your own research. I assure you will not come up short. But that story that you're sharing is BS. Oh my God, Tyrone, how did you get my phone number? Is that you? Is this you on my cell phone? Lord, I know it's time to shut down. Folks, it's got my number. How'd that happen? Gina, I see you, Gina. Free song, thank you. DJ PD News, thank you. I got to get out of here. Somebody got my phone number. That's Leo Weiner, Ivan Van Sertima. They came before Columbus. Early America revisited. Thank you, D. Thank you, D. Anomaly. Y'all, all of these books that D. Anomaly is recommending is in the chat. No $5 Freedmen allowed. We are the gatekeepers, and the gate is up. Amen to that. Asian slaves. This guy's a troll. There were no Asian. Okay. Y'all gotta just ignore Tyrone. Y'all keep fueling him, and he hasn't really said anything. My God. Jordan says this is Ninja Babbler. He's just a talker. Why waste your time talking to this tether? I'm done talking to him. I'm moving right past DJ PD. I'm moving. I thought he was someone new that really wanted to be informed, but I think he's here just to be an agitator. Ignore him. I agree with you 1,000%, says D Anomaly. Thank you, fam. DJ, I think Tyrone is here to disrupt at this point. I'm just saying. He is. And so you got to ignore it. Stop trolling. Okay, see, now you upset my people. Stop it, Tyrone. Hi, The Rock, Angela, we only want cash only. Cut the damn check, Newsom. What we do with it is our business. Amen to that, The Rock. Please time out or remove Tyrone. They're not producing any receipts because they can't. Okay, Yaira, let me do it because I don't have my mods in here. Tyrone, the council, the Freedmen Council has spoken. Your torch is about to be... okay, I'm putting you in a timeout. If you keep on going, you're upsetting the council. Bring up your torch. We're about to put your light out. What is that from? Oh my God, I am so silly. Let me go back up. I timed him out. Yaira. You're upsetting my people with your nonsense. You're moving mad. Stop. They're getting upset. The Rock is related to Michael Jordan. He's a third cousin, but he's ashamed of that. The homie, haven't we heard of them? Yes, Easy Acts, recovering Pan-Africanist. Hi, family. Welcome to the live. Oh, yeah. That woman king. Oh, child, the ghetto. Tobacco was big money, too. Correct. Michael Jordan says to The Rock, who is the real Michael Jordan's cousin, he's a man of accomplishment, but no one is perfect. Ultimately, I'm a mind my business because that sounds like family business. I say that respectfully. Some would claim this history about the Clotilda is all lies, white propaganda. Yes, Easy Acts. Everything concerning us is a big fat lie. You see them trying to erase our very existence and how we got here. You know, every day they're looking to erase and replace us. DJ, the fact that Timothy still knew exactly where in Africa to go get slaves decades later after importing slaves were deemed illegal says it all for me, says DJ. Exactly. Dan Calloway recruiting people with Asian last names. Damn, that is desperation. TJPD says, I don't listen to Dan Calloway. Me neither, fam. Ivan Van Sertima says, Yaira. He need all the help he can get after them Native American tribes is kicking him upside the head with them lawsuits. What, Michael Jordan? Dane Calloway is being sued by the Native American tribes. Wow. Doxing is high eco hair braiders. Doxing is horrible. Stop it. You know what, guys? Do you guys notice as we build in momentum how the ages of chaos? Okay, The Rock, I'll make you a mod. I got to figure it out. I just started monetizing. Can you believe it? It's just so epic. I'm so happy. Bye, Asian Persuasion. Okay. Sister Angela, the instructions how to give out blue wrenches I will resend it again. Okay. Now, Yaira, you might be sending me something from YouTube. I stream live to 3 different platforms through StreamYard. Does it work the same? That's my question. If people don't believe black people were brought over here in boats and ships by logic, they wouldn't believe white people got over here by way of boats and ships. Congratulations on your monetizations. That's what's up. Thank you, Michael Jordan. They have richly blessed me on this day. Oh, guys, it is 3:30. Y'all gonna make me late to my nail appointment. But this has been rich. You know, when you just let go and let God, you never know how rich your broadcast can end up being. Who knew it was going to go in this direction? But that means I got to come back tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. Well, since I'm monetizing now, maybe I can eke out a little bit of a living on this. At least another stream. Let's not say a living. God knows. I'm about how many more subs away before I can make a whole living at it. But coming on more often, perhaps I'll get blessed more and can give more time to this, because that is what your contributions to the broadcast enable me to do. Edutain the masses while advocating for American freedmen. Something I love doing. It just thrills me through and through. So the more you give, the more I can give, right? But I've got so many more stories. Oh, the tabs are open. That means they've got to be talked about. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, probably tomorrow evening, Tuesday evening, Wednesday all day. We're in the task force hearings. Thursday, I'll be here about a half a day because I got to travel to my niece's graduation. And I won't see y'all again till probably Monday the following week, because you're going to miss me on Sunday. I'll be traveling back. Okay? Get those. Yes, I got to get these nails done. You got to keep your nails on fleek. Well, they're nubs now because wearing them acrylics, honey, they ruined my nail. What time on Wednesday? Honey, we going live from 9 to 5. Y'all know it's an all-day job. Y'all going to have to be tuning in on your lunch breaks. If you want to weigh in at the top of the hour, please send me a Gmail. It's in the description box, and it's scrolling in the bar below. If you want to give public comments, but y'all know me and the ancestors and my inner Christ about to go and have a round table. And those 3 minutes I'm about to bring are going to be lit. It's just going to be fire. You don't want to miss it. If you want to see it live, tune in to the Reparations Perspective. Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Mountain, 11 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Mountain, 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern. You ain't going to want to miss it. It's going to be fire in the motherfucking hole. Okay, that's all I can say to that. 9 a.m. Pacific. Yes, I'll be over here live. I need y'all over here keeping it lit. I need those comments. Normally, I only say my public comments. Then I'm chatting in between and taking breaks and chatting in between the breaks. Lord, it's going to be a long couple of days, okay? But you guys know that we're coming back less and less. It used to be monthly. Now it's every couple of months, right? So we're going to get it in. But I'll see y'all tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, for all my other stories I've got open that I still have yet to discuss. And whatever I don't finish from those stories, I carry over to Tuesday night, okay? Then Wednesday, Thursday. So we're going to be together. Buckle up, buttercups, for the next few days, okay? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And The presence of God watches over us wherever Freedmen and its allies are. God truly is, because family, you are the face of God. Yes, you are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. If no one's told you today how much they love you, know that I love you black and I love you Freedmen strong. Yes, I do. And until we meet again tomorrow, I want you to make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your evening and work day tomorrow until 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, when I'll be back with you live. And until then, family, I'm believing for each and every one of us a ton of peace, love, and reparations